Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about what it was like talking to my recruiter. So joining the military wasn't a new thought for me. I'd actually thought about it about 2 years ago, but I just never built the courage to actually enlist. And I had to lose like 30 pounds anyway. So I had some like strings attached. I wasn't ready to cut. I mean, like, you think, or what was going through my head anyway, I was afraid of everything that I was going to miss while I was gone, like whether it be basic training or being deployed or just not living at home. So I was afraid I was going to miss like parties and my friends and my family, and like I said, I had to lose 30 pounds. So all of that is what kept me here for a whole nother year. And then in February 2017, I decided to not look like a busted can of biscuits anymore. And I started losing weight. So by June, I had lost almost 30 pounds. Yeah, it was in July when I'd officially hit my 30-pound mark. So I had fit the height weight requirement for me weighing 156 pounds in June. And I was like, you know what? I can do this. So I got with my friend Kendra, who has been in the Guard for 10 years. And I was like, yo, like, tell me about it. Like, if you've done it for 10 years, tell me why I can do it. Because I was like, if she can do it, I can do it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean if Kendra can do this, like, there's no reason that I can't do this too. So I got with her, and she just kind of like gave me the ins and out, what kind of sucked here, but what was really good here. And I was like, you know what? Like, I really think the National Guard's the way I want to go, and I probably should have looked a little bit more into like other branches and maybe like more active Army or reserves, but I didn't. I went National Guard, and as of right now, like, I'm super happy with it. So I've got a video if you're thinking about National Guard or if you're thinking about joining, check that video out. Anyway, so I was like, Kendra, I'm really thinking about this. Can you get me with a recruiter? Because I've always heard that you shouldn't trust your recruiters, this, that, and the other. And if Kendra, who I trust, sends me someone, she trusts them, and therefore I can trust them. So she sent me the recruiter who's stationed out of New Boston, and I had to deal with him. Sergeant Ingram called me like the day after, I think it was Tuesday, the day after 4th of July. And like, it was in New Boston, so that's an hour and a half drive for me. And so we were trying to figure out how to meet up. Or like when was the next time I can meet up with him. So I took off work Friday, and he didn't even start like the recruiting thing. Kendra had told him that I just wanted to talk about it, that I wasn't even like ready to sign. So he was prepared to like give me all of the crap. 4 days later, I drove to New Boston, and I was like ready to sign. Like, he literally didn't do anything. He didn't butter me up. Like, I was like, okay, like, I'm ready. Like, let's start signing papers. So I started filling out my paperwork, and I don't know, like, my point to this is I didn't have, my whole talking to my recruiter wasn't like a thing. I've been dealing with him since July, so that's like, what, 5 months now? Part of that is because I'm in the delayed entrance program, but part of that is because it took me like 2 months to get to MEPS, and I'll have a whole MEPS video that you can go check out as well, so you can see like all of my experiences at MEPS. But it took me 2 months to get to MEPS, so me and my recruiter like got pretty close, not inappropriately. Like, people stop having sex, stop having sex with your recruiters or whatever. No, we got close. We didn't have a choice. Like, we had to handle all this stuff for a long period of time. It's not like I dealt with him for a week and then that was the last I've heard from him. Like, I talk to him all the time, and I've had a great experience with him. Everything that he's promised me, like, he's made sure that I've gotten. All he had to do was get me where I needed to be, and he was getting his signature. So I really didn't have to work hard. The only thing, I was a paper case, and a paper case is someone who has had surgery or has some form of defect somewhere that makes you not a perfect bill of health. Like, you have to have a doctor approve your enlistment. So with me, I've had 2 surgeries on my foot. I had to have like a bone corrected. So I had to have all of the documentation for both of those surgeries. So my paper case was like this big, and then you have to send it to the MEPS doctor, and they have to actually approve it. So instead of you just sending your packet over, they check you off, you go to MEPS, you enlist, done. They actually had to investigate me. So while I was waiting for all of that, I also had to take my PICAT, which is basically your pre-ASVAB test, because I've been out of school for 5 years. And like once you've been out for 3 years, you have to like retake the whole test. And I've got a video, I'll link it in the bottom of this, that's already made up of like how to study for your ASVAB if like you're trying to enlist and you're just not really sure what all you need to do to prepare for the ASVAB. I do have a video below, so you can go watch that. But yeah, I took my ASVAB, I made a 78 on it. That was a pain. I had to relearn how to do long division because I forgot how. So you do have to study for it. I had to study for it. I made a 78. So if you just take 5 minutes out of your day and study for this thing, it's cake. So I made a 78 on that, and we just waited a lot. And that started the middle of July. So from the middle of July to the ending or the middle of August. So we waited an entire month to hear back from MEPS. And I was like, yo, like, they're not going to accept my foot. Like, there's nothing wrong with my foot, but they looked over all my paperwork, and I was like, they're not going to accept me. Like, I've Googled everything there is to know about it. They weren't going to accept me. Finally, they finally got in touch with him and told him that I needed a release letter from my surgeon, my orthopedic surgeon, surgical release. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, do you know how hard it is to get into a doctor's office, period? Now I have to get into a surgeon's office. So I called them and I was like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm trying to join the military. I literally just need him to check out my foot and see how it's going to go. Can you get me in? And they're like, well, we can actually get you in next Tuesday, blah, blah, or you're going to have to wait like a month. And I was like, I need this to go now. Like, this is just progressively getting longer. So I go in and they has to do an x-ray, and he's like, oh no, like, you're gonna be fine. So he wrote me a letter, didn't charge me because military, so I like didn't have to pay $100 out of pocket, nothing. I sent my letter to my recruiter. He like faxed it in or whatever the hell he has to do. Heard back from him 2 weeks later, which was the end of August, I'm sorry. So it was like, I actually swore in on September 1st, which was a Friday. And I'm actually going to make a video, or I think I said I've already made it, whatever. You'll be able to go look at a video of my entire experience at MEPS. So if you're kind of freaking out about that too, I list everything. I've got a video of all the exercises. Like, I am trying to set you guys up to not fail. So anyway, my personal experience with my recruiter has been phenomenal. Like, I've had no problems. I would not like knock him ever. He's been great. He's really taken care of me. So I've got 2 points that I'm going to make real quick. One, find a battle buddy. Like, find someone who is in your branch, if not your branch, at least in the military, that you can talk to, who can tell you how to take care of this, where to go with this, what to do with this. That way you're not going in blind. Like, I kind of feel bad because I didn't use the Marshall local recruiter. Sidebar, he's great. I've gotten to know him. If you're in the Marshall area, he's a really good recruiter. And the New Boston recruiter is also fantastic too. So if you're in the East Texas area, I've literally got like 5 or 6 recruiters I can hook you up with. New Boston and Marshall for sure. And then there's a couple more that I've dealt with at RSP. So you can use me. I can be your battle buddy. I am down to help anybody. But my point was, I used Kendra. Kendra was my battle buddy. I talked to her about everything because you can have a great backbone for family, but unless they are in the military or have been in the military, they have no idea what's going through your head. And I don't even mean on like a depression state or PTSD. I'm talking about just the whole transition of you going into the military. Like, they don't have a clue what you're talking about or what you're feeling. So get with someone who is at least in the military that you can talk to. And second, get them to find you a recruiter. Get them to find someone that they trust. That way you know that you can trust them, because like I said earlier, you can never trust your recruiters. Which is true. You should always like watch your back, make sure that you're being taken care of. But they're people, you guys. Like, they're people doing their jobs. So, like, yes, I know that you can get screwed over. Make sure that you don't get screwed over. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Get your battle buddy to find someone who they trust, and you shouldn't have an issue at all. So, my recruiter was fantastic. If you're BFF, battle forever friend. I don't know, battle buddy. I was trying to make a cute little acronym. Anyway, get your BFF in the military to find someone they trust, and then you won't have an issue because they trust that person. Like, it's kind of like a little domino effect. Do those 2 things and you'll be fine talking to your recruiter. Make a relationship with this person. Like I said, keep it PG. But get a relationship with your recruiter. Talk to them at least once a week. Do not get put under the back burner and forgot about. Like, become friends with this person, because if they care about you, they'll take care of you. Like, that's kind of how, like, life works. So that was my story, and that's what it was like talking to my recruiter. Battle buddy, trust your recruiter, and that's all I've got for you today, guys. If you found my video informative or helpful, give me a like, subscribe at the bottom of the page, and y'all have a fabulous day.